we need to get this out in the open because this is something I feel needs to be discussed. Something happened to me recently, short and sweet. A friend of mine, or I'll say acquaintance of mine, somebody who you're kind of friends with just through like your social network, who's been going through their own very dramatic and very publicized financial struggle. Someone who's been going through their own personal struggle of keeping up with their finances while also keeping up with the Joneses, having the best shoes, handbags, all of that jazz. There was a day she was very openly discussing her woes of how she never has any money, she doesn't know where it's going, yada yada yada. I really wasn't listening at this point. I wasn't giving advice. I was just with a group of people, and she made this comment directly to me. I don't know why I was the target. Anyway, there was a day where she was complaining about her financial situation, and she turned to me very blatantly and said,
"Oh, you only have money and all that stuff because you're cheap."
First of all, that is super, super offensive. Good job, cats. You picked the best time to scratch. I'm just gonna put this one out into the universe. For anybody to assume they know your personal financial situation and then demeaningly compare it to theirs, that is just so rude. I don't know how anybody could do that. I could never walk up to somebody and say anything like that. Anyway, all of that aside, this sparked the classic conversation of, are you cheap or are you frugal? And in my opinion, there is a very clear difference between somebody who is cheap and somebody who is frugal. And that is what I wanted to discuss in today's video. And if at any time you have something you want to say or comment on it, let me know down below. This is a very open conversation. This is just something that happened to me. I actually messaged one of my favorite YouTube channels, Budget Girl. I messaged her and I said, "Girl, would you be offended if someone said this to you?" And she was like, "Oh yes, make a video." And I said, okay, so here we are. If I had to sum up the difference between cheap and frugal in one word, that word would be prioritizing or priorities. Being cheap, in my opinion, is always finding the lowest price. Regardless of quality, you're always looking for the lowest price, and I'm not saying that's bad. I am not. I am simply defining the differences between cheap and frugal. And in my opinion, cheap is somebody who will go out and try to find the lowest price item regardless of the quality of that item. Examples of cheap purchases would be like buying a barely running car, clothes that are used with holes in them where there ain't supposed to be holes in them, and like really cheap cosmetics that barely do what they're supposed to do and probably ruin your hair, skin, or nails. And then on the other side, being frugal means buying good quality goods and services but prioritizing where that money is being spent. For example, I just bought my first pair of Tom's shoes, and honestly, they ain't cheap. And normally when I go and I buy shoes, I like to get them in like 3 different colors, usually like black, white, or gray. But in this case, I prioritized and said, you know what, I just need one pair of shoes. And if you followed me on this channel, you know I'm also minimizing a lot of my possessions, and one of my rules is when something comes into the house, something has to go out. So when I clean out my closet, in a future video, I will be taking my old pair of boat shoes and donating them when I put these Toms in my closet. Or wear them out tonight. Now when I was in college or just starting out as a performer and I was buying everything I could cheap, I would go anywhere to buy knockoff Toms. I would do Five Below. Sometimes I'd find them at the Dollar Tree. I'd go to consignment stores and buy like the old year-worn Target knockoff versions that somebody had already worn and were reselling in consignment shops. That's what I had to do. So once again, cheap is not bad, it's just different than frugal. In my opinion, frugal is going in and saying, I'm gonna buy one good pair of quality shoes. They're going to get me through the season, hopefully 2. I'll take good care of them because I'm only going to buy one. Quality over quantity. Cheap would be, I need to go out and just buy a pair of summer boat shoes. They can be falling apart, they can have a rip in them, I don't care. I just want to pay the least amount that I can for that item. And again, the one word I use to differentiate these terms is priorities. In my opinion, cheap people focus on the short-term savings and frugal people focus on the long-term savings. For example, a lot of my clothes come from the stores White House Black Market and Taylor Loft and Old Navy. White House Black Market, Old Navy, White House Black Market leggings. In my opinion, not cheap places, but their clothes have lasted me years. I've actually had this jacket, and I'm kind of ashamed to say this, I've had this jacket since like 2010. I had it through my master's degree, 7 cruise ships, and now for 2 years here living on land. And it has made it through everything. Washing, traveling, you name it. The shirt I think I've had for a few years is from White House Black Market, and I'm just wearing black leggings because that's how I roll today. And I think I've had these for maybe a year. I know some people go out and they buy their leggings at like Forever 21, Charlotte Russe, other places that are just really cheap, and that's fine. But for me, right now where I am, I want to buy clothes, and quite frankly, I am kind of lazy. I would like to go out, buy less clothes, spend a little bit more, but know in the back of my mind that these are going to last me for years. Is it time to buy a new jean jacket? Let me know in the comments below or give this video a thumbs up. If this video gets over 150 thumbs ups, I will go buy a new jean jacket. 8 years strong. So to answer that very rude question.
Oh, you only have money and all that stuff because you're cheap.
No, I do not have money and all that stuff. I don't even know what that means because I am cheap. I'm sitting in a house that I purchased on my own. Anyway, I don't have all of this because I am cheap. I have them all because I prioritize where my money is going. I give my money a job, I expect it to do its job, I keep an eye on it through a budget, and I know what is going on. I am not saying that this individual is doing anything wrong. I'm just saying if she's unhappy with her financial situation, she does not need to come attack me and tell me I don't have her same problems and assume it is because I am cheap. And on the topic of all that stuff, in the near future, a lot of videos are going to be sharing how I am going to be decluttering and getting rid of a lot of stuff in my house, in my life. If you guys have been following my library playlist here on YouTube, which is just a bunch of free audiobooks people have been uploading here on YouTube from Audible, I have my favorite ones linked down below in the description box of my 2018 library. Nothing sponsored, just books I really like. A lot of them have been about minimalism and how we have been raised in such a consumer-driven economy that we base our happiness on this preconceived notion of I'm gonna be happy when I have this pair of jeans, I drive that kind of car, I have that handbag or that furniture item or this many square feet in my house. And in these books, a lot of millionaires and people who have all of these items talk about how they're miserable. They thought, oh, I have it all, why am I not happy? And a lot of them go and give away a lot of their assets, a lot of their things, and they just live a very minimal life. And I really like that idea. I don't feel like I'm a hoarder in any way, but I do feel like there are things I don't need in my house or just in my environment. So I'm going to be doing a complete purge of my household, of my digital files. I'm going to clean out my cell phone, I'm going to clean out my computer, my laptop, my music collection. Actually, that can stay. That brings joy and a lot of content, and a lot of my students like that music, so those books will be staying. But I don't really need 12 pairs of skinny jeans and 8 button-up tops or 12 pairs of black heels in my closet when I can declutter all those. Anyway, that is coming in the future. I've got some really cool collabs coming up with YouTubers in real life. Some of my favorite YouTubers are actually coming into my hometown area, so we have set up future collabs that you'll be seeing in the very near future. But anyway, I want to know your guys' opinion on this concept. Do you think being frugal and cheap are the same things? Are they different? How would you define them? Let me know down below in the description box. I've made this video more as a conversation piece. That's why it's just me sitting here giving you all my take, my definition, and my view. But again, this is a conversation, so I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down below in the comments or by giving this video a thumbs up. And once again, if this video gets 150 thumbs ups, I will donate this 8+ year-old jean jacket and I will go out and get myself a new one. I just don't see the need in getting a new one yet because this one is holding up. But I know 8 years is a very long time. So let me know down below and give this video a thumbs up. And once again, no judgment on cheap people, no judgment on frugal people. If you have found a system that makes your life and your budget more balanced, go and do that. Don't let anybody make you feel inferior that your system doesn't work for them or they don't know your whole system, so they're just going to assume. Most of the time, and I know it's kind of weird for me to say this, most of the time your budgets and your finances should be really private. I know it's weird for me to say this because I share budget with me, ways that I save money, ways that I see others save money, a lot of good tried tips and techniques, but usually, and I'll recommend this to you guys, make your finances be a very private, a very personal thing. If you notice in my most recent budget with me, I did not share money that went into my savings, charity work, or my IRA accounts, like my investments, because that is personal information. That is not something anybody but me and my accountant need to know. That's it, that's just how it is, and that's how it should be for you. Bottom line, it is your money, your system, you make it work for you. And again, don't let anybody make you feel bad for finding your own balance. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you've not yet subscribed, click that button down below. You know what to do, and I will see you in the next video. Did I just ramble that whole video? Probably.